Hi everyone, good evening, and welcome to another live here at Iscah Wellness. So, today we are going to go live with Aastha Ahuja of MPowerU, and I'm just going to add her to the call. Um, okay, I think she's here. Okay. Astha, I think I've accepted your request. Um,
Hi, Suniti.
Hi, Astha. Good evening. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. So nice to have you here on Iscah to do this live. We have been wanting to do this for some time, and I'm so glad that we've been able to do it now.
Finally, COVID has given us some time to really come up and do this live and do this training program in Guwahati.
Yes. So if you guys don't know yet, we are going to do a training in Guwahati. It's a 3-day training in expressive art therapy, and Astha is the trainer. She's coming all the way from Delhi to do this training. No, Astha?
Yeah, and I'm so excited for it. I'm like really looking forward to meeting you guys and meeting people there and doing this training. Yeah.
Yes, we are excited to have you. So, today actually, I was thinking that we should do these lives because we really need to talk about art therapy and how it is such a, important tool, so powerful in its approach, and we can do so much with it. And especially because, after I learned art therapy with you, I have started applying it in so many areas. So, I just wanted to you know brainstorm on that with you and like sort of get all these knowledge for everyone, especially all the young counselors out there who are wanting to learn about art therapy and hopefully come for the 3-day training.
Right, right. And I'm so glad that you're using it so wonderfully, where you are uh, including it in so many modalities and uh, using it in the most wisest way possible in your practice. And I'm so glad that you are really spreading that awareness about art therapy. And yeah, I'm looking forward to be there and meet more people and introduce the world of art therapy to more and more people.
Yes, we are really happy to have you and hope to see you in December. So, Astha, please tell us, why is art such a powerful tool in counseling, and why art can help so much in the process of therapy?
Right. So, if you understand, art is a very powerful tool, as in it helps you connect a part of your brain that always is, hidden or always is diminished in a way with your logic sense of being, because we
Mhm.
existing in this logical world uh, with our left brain, which is the logical brain. So, art, when you make some art, there is a creative part of you that resides in the right side of your brain, which is never used, but which is never used to express, but is always registering things that you are seeing, right? So,
Yes.
it becomes such a powerful tool because it gives you like a language that comes, that we almost call it like a pre-verbal language to express yourself in the most authentic and the most truest form of yourself, um, without feeling like there is a judgment of, like, what is this? What have you expressed? What have you drawn? I mean, art could be as simple as drawing a scribble, or
Mhm.
as magnificent as, these amazing artists, Picasso, drawing beautiful painting, amazing paintings. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anything really. And how it allows us to express ourselves is going on from really time memorial, how you study in history books about how people have left an impact of their civilizations of art, of, walls of cities and architecture and places. And that's why art is such a powerful tool of communication. So when we use that tool of therapy, it allows us to be our authentic selves. It allows us to be uh, a person who is, not continuously judging or filtering what we want to sort of speak, what we want to say, if I will be judged, etc. It becomes a very powerful tool. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, Asta, what I hear you saying is that, it's a way by which we can express in an unfiltered way,
Yeah.
which does not come across in other ways of communication as much as in art.
Right, right. Because when you look at it developmentally also, there is this understanding that we have, that when is the time when we actually start talking, is fully talking, we have a full verbal language, is when we are about the age of 5. But before that, we're stopped expressing. I mean, the day a baby is born, that baby is expressing, right? How are they
Yes.
how does a 1 year old, when they start walking, let's say, or they start crawling, give them a marker or something, and they will go out on the wall and start painting, drawing, whatsoever, scribbling. That's also a way of expression, right? So that allows us to have a language before we actually have a verbal language. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Why will it not be so powerful?
Yes, yes. So it's such a powerful tool because it sort of goes beyond language.
Yeah.
No? Yeah. So, Asta, you mentioned two very, I think, important and interesting things as you were describing this, is that it helps us reach into a part of our mind which remains hidden. And also, you said that, that part of your brain which is receiving or is sort of processing but not really being in use. So can you define that a little bit more, because that makes it even more important that we are working with the mind and the brain with this creative tool.
Right, right. So basically, when we are receiving, there is a constant stimulus that is happening, like a visual stimulus that we are receiving, and we are receiving more than we are processing, right? So let's say if I am watching a movie, I will remember the scenes of it, but I might not remember the dialogues of it, right? So
Yeah.
when you go out and your friend, oh, you know what, I saw that movie yesterday, and this it was about this, and this scene was so nice, and this scene was so bad, and I did not like this, and I liked that. What you're describing is a visual that you saw, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You are describing it in your language, but you are not using the same dialogue that the actor or the actress might have used, right? So, what you're registering is a visual. Now, when you process that visual, of course, when it converts to language, there is a filtration that happens. There is an interpretation that happens. There is you are coming from a certain perspective or a certain background to be able to tell that. But
Yeah.
in your mind, you have received 100% while you have only processed 50, right? So
Hmm.
where does the feeling, I thought this, that, this scene might have been a little like this. But what about the feeling? That feeling is actually stored in that part of the brain which is not expressed, right? That's
Hmm.
called the unconscious mind, or it goes into your subconscious or your unconscious. Now, when we give you an expression, when we give you a tool of expression which is not language, which is uh, allowing you to convert the image that you saw to the image that you want to have on paper, or let's
Hmm.
you want to have it in a movement or in a very dramatized way, you are able to emote it. You are able to add feelings to it rather than just the thought to it. And that's why uh, the combination of art and talk therapy goes hand in hand. Uh, that's why, let's say, if you understand it, talk therapy uh, takes a lot more longer to actually come out with what you're authentically feeling. While when you're giving another tool of expression, something that is getting stuck in your gut might come out more quicker.
Wow, that's amazing. That we can do so much and use it, in such different ways, right? And help the individual who is in front of us, not only with their emotions or the issue that they've come with, but also help them get so much clarity and maybe even catharsis.
Oh, of course, absolutely. I mean, it's actually beyond clarity, I will say, Suniti, because
Mm.
uh, what that image is doing, again, like I said, you are receiving more than what you are processing, right? So
Yeah.
when you create an image that was in your mind becomes more clear when you see it in front of you, right? When you
Yeah.
see a visual of it. Now, what that does is it does create a shift in your mind already. Before you actually process it, the shift has already happened. So
Mm.
you will see, like, I have a lot of clients who will come, come up with this struggle of going through anxiety, going through grief, complicated grief, going through attachment issues. Um, and when there is an allowance to sort of express what they are feeling on a very continuous level,
Mm.
we see that the complaint of what they came in with goes down on its own. So we are actually not focusing on, okay, what does your anxiety look like? Okay, draw your anxiety. We are looking at the reason behind that anxiety, right? And we are processing that. As soon as that image gets out, the mind is clear. It gets a space to form a new image. It gets this understanding of, oh, this is how it looked like, you know. So in a bodily sense, I might feel anxiety, like, this big huge chunk. But when it comes out on paper, it might be about, let's say, uh, something, something very very I won't want to say small, but something that could have been dealt with if it was in the very conscious, right?
Mm.
So when that allowance happens, that is also dealt with, and the shift is hence created. So it does not limit to awareness, but it also is healing.
Amazing, amazing. So it is going beyond language and it is helping us delve into parts of the mind and the brain, actually, which traditional methods or like more popular methods sort of have fall back on. I wouldn't say limitation, but fall back on. And what I'm understanding is that even for clients who have difficulty in, putting words to how they're feeling,
Yeah,
like verbally describing it, or uh, also people who are afraid to relive painful memories if they come to a session, for them this is like wonders. There's so much healing with this,
yeah,
right?
absolutely. I
And
mean,
as you said that it's also for kids and people who maybe don't use the literate language. I mean, even with them we can do so much work.
oh, yes, of course. Because again, like I say, it goes beyond language. Right? So we
Yeah.
can do so much beyond that. So, like I was about to say, I have so many adolescent clients who are, forcefully brought up by parents and said, "Oh, this person needs therapy," or "My child needs therapy." Now, of course, they would not trust you because
Yeah.
have forced them into therapy. But when you give them a tool of expression, which is beyond language, they don't have to speak a huge deal, but they are still talking to you, right? They are still in conversation with you through art.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, the wall of defense that they come up with is sort of, does come down when we bring in art as a tool to understand what is going on, you know, what is really happening with them. So yes, it does not have a barrier about who can it work for and who can it not work for, because this is our primary form of expression. Actually, art is our
Yeah.
primary form of expression. We move when we express, so it's movement. We
Yeah.
dramatize emotions so much that it brings in drama. There is
Yeah.
sound all around us, so that brings in the music of the world, really, not just
Mm.
with instruments but with what sounds that you can take out from your mouth to express, right? So the music therapy comes in. So art in any form is a primary source of expression. Yeah.
Expression, yeah, yeah. And as I would also like to share that in my practice, I have found it to be such a helpful tool even in the rapport formation, because sometimes there is so many defenses. Like you said, people are pushed to come to therapy, and there is such a discrepancy between what they are feeling and what the caregiver is feeling. I have used it multiple times as a tool to help parents and kids also bond, like doing art together or
Right.
engaging in an art activity. Yeah,
Oh
so I
yeah.
just wanted to share that as well.
Yeah. I mean, such a deal breaker to actually have a parent and a child in your room and allow them to talk, because
Yeah,
then you often find yourself mediating a fight between them rather than the three of you talking. But when you give them a new tool to have a conversation rather than language, you see the magic of it already happening,
yeah,
Initially, see that they are defiant of each other and they don't want to work together, or, you know, they're playing out their relationship in a way that it is in front of you as a therapist, right?
yeah,
Uh, and then they find their way towards each other through that media only, because you have given them a language where they both are unknown of. They don't know that language, so they
yeah,
both, while you have taken away the language of what they already know,
yeah,
what conflict already is. So it is a very powerful tool to work with, two people or a family or an organization or a corporate where, let's say, the team does not get along with each other, and so you take away their language and give them this new tool to express. So what
yeah.
happens? You see a conflict coming up and you see them solving it all together. Yeah.
True, and that is such a beautiful process. So, Asta, I actually had shared a question box yesterday for our live, that if people had any questions regarding art therapy and also art in a therapeutic role, or just about the course, they can leave it. So we have a few questions, and I also want to tell all of the people who have joined us right now that you can leave your questions in the comment or in the question box and we can address it. So, shall I start with the questions?
Yes.
Yeah. So, the first question is from, I can't really say the name. I mean, we've kept it anonymous. So, it's like, what is the difference between art therapy and expressive art therapy? It can
Ah,
get confused.
okay. So art therapy, well, I would like to just reframe it, is more, I would like to call it a visual art therapy, where using a lot of paint, a lot of clay, a lot of color, sheets, something where we are creating something visually, right?
Yes.
That visual art therapy, or art therapy, if you say so. Expressive arts therapy is an umbrella term for a lot of types of expressive therapies which use different art forms. So, art form, let's say art form like dance, music, drama, art, and play. All these five kinds of therapies come under the umbrella term of expressive arts therapy. Now, a person can be certified in an expressive arts therapy uh, from an expressive arts therapy course where they are trained to use all these five therapies uh, either together or individually with their client, or they can also be trained in one of these kinds of therapies, let's say drama therapy or music therapy or movement therapy or visual art therapy, and they are only using that. However, you see sometimes that even when you're not trained in certain kind of therapy, sometime or the other you do use another kind of therapy in your practice. So for example, uh, using a lot of play therapy while you're also trained in only visual art therapy is a very common practice that happens, right? But the only difference is that expressive art therapy is a broader term, and
Got
art
it.
visual art therapy is a very narrowed down. It's a very niche term. Yeah.
Niched approach. Yes, yes. Okay. Thank you so much. So the second question is art therapy better than other methods?
Wow. I wish I could say. But see, I always say that art therapy is like, I mean, this is a very common analogy that when I teach my courses, I give this. Art therapy is like this aloo, which goes in with every kind of sabzi that or vegetable to cook, right? It goes in
Completely.
beans, it goes in with, you know, uh like um like broth based vegetable where, you know, there is a lot watery vegetable or a dry vegetable, or you can bake it, fry it, whatever. So art therapy actually goes in with a lot of other approaches, which makes it very unique in its own way, because you can use a CBT way of art therapy,
Yeah.
uh, an SFT way of art therapy, or you could use a DBT way, mindfulness, Adlerian, psychoanalytic, humanistic, behavioral. So you could combine art therapy with actually anything at all, and then use it with your client, right? As you want to use it appropriately, and that's what gives us an idea of how wide art therapy applications can really be. You know, it is not limited to uh, let this is the mode that we use art therapy. You could combine it with anything at all and then use it. So treat the art therapy like this potato. It could be used with anything at all. I would really like to say it is better than talk therapies, but we are not trying to create, you know, like this comparison here. Why I call it better is only because it is a great assistive tool in also talk therapy.
Yeah, yeah. That it can be also used so flexibly, like you mentioned earlier also.
Right. So when you club it with talk therapy, it gives you great results, right? Uh, I'll also, you know, bring in this concept of the difference between art therapy, art as a tool in counseling, is that when you're only art therapy, you're using art as the main tool of communication.
Hmm.
There is talk. It's not like there is no talk, but you're using art as a vehicle to drive your sessions forward. While when you use it in counseling, you are using it as a tool. So you might use it in some sessions wherever necessary, wherever you feel like your client might benefit from it, or else happening, you can use it there, right? So that's the basic difference that we have. And of course, art can be used with any kind of talk therapy possible.
Amazing. So in a way, yes, better, but not the comparison way, but like the more application and variety of ways that you can use. Okay. So the next question is, can I also learn art therapy in counseling if I am not a counselor, I'm a teacher?
Yes. Oh, that is such a beautiful question. So I remember I was working in school quite some time ago now. And when I used to go to classes, I was never, actually, I never saw myself, like teacher going in to teach life skills, right? Because of course everybody knows life skills, so I don't need to teach school, right? But I went there as just a facilitator to help these children express themselves, what's going on with them. Now,
Hmm.
when I allowed that opportunity to express themselves, the wonders that it did was that it created a lot of sense of empathy in the class. With okay, the bully is also sometimes suffering, and the bully
Yeah.
could see he was also suffering. So they could see visuals of it. How it helped the teachers was also to understand what was their role in the classes. If uh, if they could add some techniques of art therapy while teaching, how beautifully they could also see the class bonding with each other, the class
Yeah.
teacher, the relationship that the class has with each other, right? So
Yeah.
it is actually not based on if you're a counselor only, then you can use art.
Hmm.
Before, art can be used anywhere. I mean, our ancestors were, not art therapists to be drawing or expressing through art
Yeah.
on the walls of what now we see as, like, for example, Ajanta Ellora caves,
Yes.
or age-old tradition of making rangolis or kolas, you know. Uh,
Yeah.
houses, that's a form of expression, that's a form of happiness, right? So you don't need to essentially be a psychologist or a counselor to be able to practice art. Of course, there are some skills that will always remain towards its therapeutic side.
Hmm.
Teacher, you can for sure imbibe in your practice of teaching children some skills of art.
So what I'm understanding is that definitely using art in a therapy setting, that limitation will remain for a teacher, because in the sense they'll have to learn those aspects also, or like do that training in psychology or skills that we need in a mental health setting. But they can use the art to sort of help the children open up, express, go beyond the language, use it in a positive motivation. So there are still so many ways by which they can use it, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, amazing. And the last question we have is, what all are you covering in the course?
Okay. So
I mean, I put it up on the poster, but like it's good
why
that
why don't you
asked.
anything?
So, what we are covering in the course is to know and understand about art, using it in a therapeutic way in the counseling setting. But definitely, like we just spoke with Astha, that everybody is welcome to learn and understand how you can use art as a medium of expression and healing and connection bonding. So, teachers are also welcome. Okay, but the approach that we're taking is mainly in the counseling setting. We will also be taking you through a lot of activities which will help you understand the power of art, as well as sort of see how you can, have an art based activity and use it, like apply the activity to your practice. And we will also be covering art combined with other therapeutic modalities. So, if you have been practicing in one area or with one modality, this is a great way for you to expand or include something amazing in your sessions.
Yeah, yeah.
Did I do justice to that?
This with I mean, you will see a possibility of it including art in your modality. Let's say you're practicing like I know, Suniti, you practice a lot of family constellation, inner child, so
Yeah.
you could include art in those sessions as well. Or if you are a PT practitioner, if you follow the PT approach, if you are, let's say, a mindfulness coach, or if you follow the psychoanalytic way of practicing, if you are a humanist therapist, or even if you are an eclectic therapist, this is
Yeah.
a good add-on to your kitty to sort of understand your clients in a much more better light and in a much more better perspective.
Yes. Yes.
So cover almost all approaches with what you can practice, of course, in a very, very experiential way. So,
Yeah.
most welcome to join in the training program from whichever background you belong to. And yeah,
Yes. So the training is happening, guys, here in Guwahati itself on the 9th, 10th, and 11th of December. And it's going to be 3 days of lots of learning and amazing fun. And we are also having two more lives in the coming week. And we will be talking more about art, in a therapeutic setting and, expressive art. And we're going to learn so much from Astha. So stay tuned and please DM us if you are interested to join the coming course. Thank you so much, Asta.
thank you, Suniti. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure, pleasure. See you soon.
You. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.